What's up guys, today we're going to be discussing staking, yield farming and liquidity provisions and giving you some real life examples so you can give this a go for yourself. My name's Tyrell, the CEO of Interstellar Ventures, and we help business owners 2x their investments or they do not pay. Now the catch to that is you do have to be earning at least 6 figures or more, and if you are not, do not worry, I create all of this content completely for free to help you get there. I've also created multiple Discord communities where you can learn how we created 2 successful businesses completely for free, no strings attached. So if you're somebody that's just starting out, make sure that after this video you check out the Side Hustle Club and apply to start learning how to make money online completely for free. These businesses has helped me completely change my life, and I'm just giving this back to you guys. I want to build a community of like-minded entrepreneurs who all understand how to actually invest. You know, gone are the days of the moon boys, gone are the days of these Dogecoin spammers. I really want to help people, you know, still leverage those opportunities because yeah, they do make money, but not fall for the hype, right? Make sure that they understand how to take profits, how to take advantage of their stable coins and yield farm, for example. So many people are keeping their money in banks or applying for cute cards where they only earn like 2 to 3% a year, right? You're barely even beating inflation. In fact, you're not actually beating inflation. So this video is just going to be the tip of the iceberg for this industry. DeFi offers some huge opportunities for those people that are willing to take things a step further and to, you know, look through the looking glass, you know, to really dive in. So if you'd like me to make some more in-depth tutorials after watching this video, let me know. But by the end of this video, you should at least know the basics for staking, yield farming and liquidity provision. So let's get right into it. Now, advanced investment techniques like staking, yield farming and liquidity mining and liquidity provisions generates you passive income, allowing you to maximize your returns and diversify your investment strategies by using decentralized finance. Now quickly, passive income does not exist, right? As you guys know it. Most people think passive income means I take no risk, I do no work, and magically money falls on my doorstep. Now that is not the case, and that is definitely not the case with decentralized finance, because as we're going to get into, there are tons and tons of risks that you should be aware of, and always with anything there is a risk in terms of the actual money that you're investing. So you always have to remember, you have to take a risk on that money that you're investing to generate returns. But the way I see passive income is that you're not, you know, doing 100 sales calls, you're not having to actively look at the money or attract or actually do work for the income. It's something which you invest and then you reap the rewards from that. You take the risk on the investment, but you do not actually have to do anything active to gain that income. As a business owner, you know, to make money in a business, you have to generate leads, you have to provide a service, you have to do some type of marketing. You know, there's active tasks involved to run your business. You know, once you scale, you hire employees and etc. So it's not necessarily passive, right? Whereas investments, you can definitely make some passive investments in terms of where you don't actually have to do active work to get there. So I hope that clears things up before I start getting people onto me for, you know, being some passive income guy. Now back to decentralized finance. DeFi involves smart contracts, dApps, decentralized exchanges, lending platforms and more. Now I was amazed when discovering the potential for passive income using proof of stake to maximize my reward by earning tokens for validating transactions on the network. You can stake your tokens and earn rewards in that same token, which is ridiculous because the compound benefits and opportunities that you can make are endless. However, you have to remember, when staking your tokens, you need to keep an eye out for the fundamentals of the project, the team, the technology, the rewards that you're earning, and also the lockup periods and risks associated with it. For example, if you want to stake your tokens on Polkadot, you will have to lock up your Polkadot for a certain amount of time or you will get penalties on that. You can also lock your tokens up on the Polkadot network and vote for other projects that might be added to that network. And if you vote for a project and that project wins, then guess what? You get rewarded in that token, which is ridiculous, right? Because some people have done that and made gains on the token, but they still have their Polkadot there as well. Only thing is that Polkadot is staked up for a whole entire year. Now there is options and ways that you can still leverage that dot that you've got staked, but I guess that's for another video. But I hope that sparks a flame for understanding the potential, right? Imagine if you stake 40 grand of Polkadot, right? And then you get given, I don't know, 5 grand of Moonbeam, but Moonbeam goes and does a 20x, right? Now you've made 20 grand in Moonbeam, so you put your 5 grand in, it's done a 20x. That means you've made 100 grand, right? 20x, that's 5 times 10, 50, double that, $100,000, right? And it's possible, right? But let's say you get 5 grand in Moonbeam, that does a 20x. You've now made 100 grand, right? Which you have to know about distribution, whatever. There's tons of, if you've been keeping track of the modules, you'll understand that even if you get given that 5k, there's still distribution periods associated with that. So Moonbeam will have their own distribution periods, but you would be able to make profit on the Moonbeam tokens and your Polkadot is still there. It's not going anywhere. So if Polkadot goes up in price, you've now made profit on the Polkadot and you've made profit on the Moonbeam. And this is how these teenagers or these nerds that people don't really take into consideration are making millions of dollars by just taking advantage of the network, right? If you look at Polkadot, they do a very hard job, a very tough job of explaining that. But if you look at it simply, all you're doing is you're voting for a project by using your tokens. If you lose, you get your tokens back. So if the project doesn't win, you get your tokens back. And if they win, you get free tokens for it, which is ridiculous, right? Now, obviously, the amounts are all different. I'll just use that as an example, but you can see the gains that you can make. And an expert tip is you can diversify your staking portfolio by investing into multiple proof of stake networks and spreading out your risk and potential rewards. It's crazy. It's like having a diversification within diversification within diversification, right? You're going to have a diversified portfolio, but within those niches, you're going to have another diversified portfolio. And that just allows you to balance risk. I don't know who it was, whether it was Einstein or somebody, but there's a great quote that goes, diversification is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And it really is. Now, one of the next methods that you can use is called yield farming. Now, this allows you to maximize returns through liquidity mining. Now, yield farming may seem risky or complicated, but it can be a very powerful strategy to allow you to maximize your returns. By providing liquidity on DeFi platforms, you can earn rewards in fees and additional tokens. And you get access to amazing APYs. Like some projects even do hundreds of percent APY over a short period of time. So you can really dial in this concept if you take advantage of it. And look at the benefits, right? If you put your money in a bank, right, the bank doesn't give you a return on the money that it's loaning out, on the deals that it's doing with other banks. It doesn't give you returns for the way it's using your money, right? They give you a very, very tiny amount just to keep people happy, and basically they still lose money to inflation anyway. So DeFi is the complete opposite. They reward you for your investment, right? And there are some risks associated with this. So if you want to yield farm, you should check out the platform security, the tokenomics, the reputation, the APYs, and potential risks, including impermanent loss. And if you want to check this out and give it a go, you can check out Yearn Finance and Compound, which are well-established platforms with very attractive yield farming opportunities. And an expert tip that you can use is you can start yield farming with a small amount of money just to get it. And then once you build confidence, you can start doing a little bit more at a time. Now, the final tip, which is a little bit like yield farming, is called liquidity provision, which allows you to support decentralized exchanges by earning fees for providing liquidity. Liquidity meaning money. If anybody ever mentions liquidity, just swap that word for money and imagine low liquidity means you don't have a lot of money to access right now. High liquidity means you have a lot of cash flow to access right now. Now, you can liquidity mine by depositing tokens onto a decentralized exchange pool like Uniswap or SushiSwap. And in return, you earn a return on the fees that people are using to trade, which again, this is why DeFi is so amazing. Your bank is not doing that, right? If you put 100 grand in the bank and then that bank goes and uses that cash to put it in a cash machine, for example, right? You're not getting paid for every time they charge somebody 5% fees or whatever to withdraw their cash from the cash machine. However, in DeFi, it's different, right? They need people to provide liquidity and they reward you for that. And if you're having USDT and ETH there, then you may as well use it to provide liquidity and earn free money. Now, there are some risks associated with this you should definitely consider. Things like the security of the decentralized exchange, the volumes, the tokens offered, and obviously the risk of impermanent loss. loss. An expert tip is you to focus on trading pairs with very high volume to reduce the chance of impermanent loss and also consider the fees associated with that. I personally met one of my investors that was in my group. Shout out, but I'm not gonna say names because it's crazy, right? But you know who you are, right? You can really take advantage of these DeFi methods. And I personally met people who make tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. The only thing you have to be careful of is impermanent loss. Impermanent loss is massive. So if you guys want me to go into more detail and potentially find some calculations to help you with impermanent loss, I'd actually be happy to do so. I personally need to know more about DeFi. DeFi is always evolving, so I'd actually be very happy to take a look at it. So now you know the key concepts and a little bit about what they do and a little bit about the risks. I want to give you some key tools and steps that you can do to take advantage of this. So before I conclude this, I just want to cover some quick topics in terms of some tools that you can use and some steps. First things first is you always want to make sure that you choose a secure wallet or staking platform that you're using, and you research the project and do your due diligence on it. You also want to keep an eye out for updates, changes in staking rewards, and monitor your portfolio when needed. Now, when you look at yield farming tokens, you want to do some calculations on the potential returns that you can make. You also want to establish and create, and like a scientist, test your own strategies for getting the highest returns from these liquidity pools. And when it comes to using a decentralized exchange, you can monitor the trading volume on there. You can also check the liquidity on that network. And again, you want to manage your own portfolio for how to maximize your fees. It's like a science test with any of this DeFi stuff, and you can really take advantage of it if you just get passionate about it. Now, to conclude, that was a real quick video on some examples and some potential advanced strategies that you can use for staking, yield farming, and liquidity provision, which offers significant benefits for those who are willing to learn and engulf themselves in this industry. And by following this advice and some few actionable steps, this can be your first step to generating passive income. And especially at the start of a new market, you have a huge opportunity here to take advantage of the volume, to take advantage of people that are just not digging into this industry, and to really set yourself up to leverage income that you already have. If you only have a small amount of income, you can start small with liquidity mining and you can really make some huge potential gains.